You're listening to the 209th edition of the Bitachon podcast. And we are in pasukim from Reb Zundel in Tehillim, and specifically pasukim that we read in Hallel. Last week and the week before, we read the passuk, Yisrael Bitach Hashem Ezrom Maginamu. People of Israel, let them trust in Hashem. Hashem protects them. Hashem is their shield. And now we're going to look at the next pasuk, Beis Aaron Bitchu Hashem Ezrom Maginamu. The house of Aaron, which means the Kohanim, the priests, they too, says the pasuk, will trust in Hashem. Hashem is their protector. Hashem is their shield. Now, why does the pasuk specify Beis Aaron? What's different about the Kohanim, the priests, as opposed to all of Klal Yisrael? Why isn't it enough for David HaMelech to tell us that Klal Yisrael needs to trust in Hashem? Why do we also have to add on the fact that the Bnei Aaron, the Kohanim, also need to trust in Hashem? Says Reb Avram ben Ramuch, Beis Aaron atem tzrichim liftoyach yoser b'Hashem. The house of Aaron needs a deeper level of trust in Hashem. Lefi she'atem mechaper mala'am. And I think this is something that we spoke about recently in Parshas Acharei Mos Kedoshim. The Kohanim have a deeper level of connection to Hashem. They have a deeper, they serve as a conduit. They serve as a connector between Am Yisrael and Hashem. They come into the Beis Hamikdash or into the Mishkan, and they are bringing atonement to Am Yisrael. So what? V'atem tzrichim l'spalel l'lekechem, shikabel b'rotzen karboneseim, sh'leitove shum tzara b'yameichem. Now listen to this, because each one of us really has the ability to be priestly. What does a Kohen do? Says Rabbi Avram ben Ramuch. They get atonement for their people, for Am Yisrael. They pray, they daven on behalf of Am Yisrael, that Hashem should receive their karbonos, receive their desire for atonement. And they also daven on behalf of Am Yisrael that nothing bad should happen for them. Someone just told me that Rav Arush, who's one of the big mashpiyim in Breslov, he put out a call that everyone should spend a half an hour every day, think about this, davening for Am Yisrael. He's been doing it every single day since the beginning of the war. Davening for Am Yisrael. We could spend a few minutes at least if we can't give a half an hour, but caring about other people, caring about Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael is in a time of difficulty. Soldiers are going into a place of danger. Am Yisrael, in Eretz Yisrael, and throughout the world, there's a sense of danger. We're running, there are sirens, and we're running to our protected rooms. Am Yisrael needs prayers. The Kohanim are aware of that. The Kohanim are davening that no difficulties should come. It's especially essential if you're somebody who is caring about others. You're a parent. You have friends in your community. And you want to help them. You want to daven for them. You want to pray on their behalf. And you want Hashem to forgive them. You want Hashem to give them all that's good. Deepen your bitachon in Hashem. If you deepen your bitachon and connection to Hashem, so then your prayers will be answered. Because Hashem is the helper. He's the rescuer to those who trust Him. So what it means to say is that there's lots of paths and ways into bitachon. There's lots of ways to get there. Some people can go straight in. Some people can just have bitachon. Their relationship with Hashem is real, it's strong, and it works. But Rabbi Avram ben Ramuch is giving us another way. One way is to be a tzaddik, to be righteous, to develop our relationship with Hashem that way. Another way is to care about somebody else, to daven on behalf of somebody else, to have bitachon for somebody else. Yeah, we can do that. Have bitachon for your kids. Have bitachon that Hashem is going to send them the right spouse. Have bitachon that Hashem is going to put them in the right headspace where they can receive the good that He wants to give them. I can strengthen my bitachon for somebody else. Sometimes it's easier to do that than to do that for myself. But it helps me too. When I strengthen my bitachon for somebody else, it helps me have more bitachon for myself. I get it along the way. Says the Rokeach, Yisrael Bitach B'Hashem v'Leshach l'Miyamar Bitchu Kvar Lashon Ovar. Interesting, he says that in our passuk it says, Beis Aaron Bitchu B'Hashem. Bitchu means that there's, as opposed to Bitach, Yisrael Bitach B'Hashem, it's a command. Bitach B'Hashem. And he understands that when it says Bitchu, it means that they did already trust in Hashem. When it comes to Klal Yisrael generally, we can't talk about something that's already happened. We can only speak about something that they must do or they should do in the future. The example that he gives is that when it came to the sin of the golden calf, they did not have bitachon. They did not properly trust in Hashem. But when it comes to the house of Aaron, so we can say that they bitchu, they trusted. Pasuk tells us, in regards to the Maisa Egel, the sin of the golden calf, all of the sons of Levi gathered to Moshe. In regards to Aaron, it says the pasuk that which is interesting because Aaron was part of facilitating the mistake of the golden calf. But still, we see that the lips of the Kohen, Yishmeru Das, they maintain, they keep wisdom or intimate understanding, which means to say the Sfasaim are the outer aspect of my inner aspect, meaning I have inner thoughts, I have inner beliefs, I have inner emotions and experiences, and the Sfasaim, the lips, express that outwards. Okay? So, the lips, their job is to maintain or to be faithful to a person's das, a person's wisdom. And people come to Aaron because his mouth is consistent with his mind, meaning he doesn't allow his emotions to control him. He doesn't get carried away. He's somebody who has bitachon, he believes in Hashem, he knows that in his heart, and it's something that expresses itself outwardly. And that's what it means that a tzaddik, let's say, a righteous individual, someone like Aaron HaKohen, he's a malach Hashem tzavokis, he's an angel, which means an angel, there's no difference between what he's thinking and what he's doing. It's all aligned, it's all the same. And so to a tzaddik, like an Aaron HaKohen, he's somebody who, the inside and the outside are the same. There's no difference between them. So when he acts with bitachon, when he acts with faith, so then you know that that's what's going on inside. He's not putting on a show. So he's the person to go to get instruction. He's the person who has it from before. Yisrael B'Tach Hashem, people of Israel need to trust in Hashem. That means that we need to, from now on, act that way. But we can learn it from somebody who already has it. And those are the Kohanim, the priests. And if you think about it, besides what happened with the Maisa Egel, they're the ones who lived without knowing exactly where their food was going to come from. They didn't have a portion in Eretz Yisrael. They didn't have a piece of land. They would serve Hashem. They were spiritual. And they were provided for. Mishulchan gavoya ka'achlu. They would eat from they would get gifts that were for Hashem, that Hashem would give to them, so to speak. Says the Malbim, the Malbim says that to the degree that a person's bitachon becomes greater. And by the way, before I get to the Malbim, I'm just thinking about it. We want to have bitachon. We want to work on bitachon. And we want to deepen our level of bitachon and our relationship with Hashem. And so, what the Rokech is really saying is, we need to look to others who have it. We need to look to others who are working on it, who are thinking about it. In order for us to develop it, we need to hear from those who have it. Okay, Malbim. He says, Malbim says that according to how much bitachon I have, the result of my bitachon is, if I have bitachon, Hashem protects me more. I experience more of the fact that He's protecting me and taking care of me when I have bitachon. This is something that we pointed out many times, that when we start to have bitachon, we start to notice it more, that Hashem is taking care of us. More hashgacha pratis. When it comes to Beis Aaron, it comes to the children of Aaron, the Kohanim, their level is greater than the level of the regular people amongst the people of Israel. They have a deeper level of bitachon. Kein ezer maginamu. Bezer prati yesal Beis Yisrael. The passuk is coming to say, according to the Malbim, that the Kohanim who have a deeper bitachon, they have more help, they have more protection because of that. Kein yirei Hashem. And the next thing in the next passuk is yirei Hashem bitchu b'Hashem. That those who fear Hashem, they also have bitachon, and they also experience an even deeper level of protection. These are individuals who seek to deepen their fear of Hashem. The language he says is, they serve Hashem with their free will, with holiness, a deeper level of holiness. They're able to overcome the Yetzer Hara. They're able to set aside, I prefer to say, their normal inclinations. And they're able to say, what does Hashem want from me in this moment? Because Baruch Hu will help me. And they're able to choose that which they believe Hashem wants. Yigdal Ezram B'yichud. If I can do that, if I can be someone who is awed by Hashem, I see Hashem's awesomeness and His greatness, and I want to come close to Him. And I know that coming close to God means that I need to be on a higher level. I need to be seeking His will even more. That type of individual who seeks Hashem's will even more and pushes away his Yetzer Hara and chooses to do the Ratzon Hashem, that person has greater Kedusha, greater Siyata Dishmaya, greater Ezra Maginamu, a greater level of being protected, of Hashem being his shield, of seeing Hashgacha Pratis. Brings here from Chazet Tzion. It says that Hashem is their helper. Hashem helps them that they shouldn't be poor. They shouldn't be impoverished. Here's what I mentioned before. That the priests, the Kohanim, they have special gifts. The 24 gifts that are given to the priests that Hashem commands in the Torah. Give these items, these different food items, these different parts of the animal, of the korbanos, give them to the priests, to the Kohanim. They're also protected, says the Chazet Tzion, they're protected from any kind of sicknesses. How? It seems, I think this is what he's saying, that through the mitzvahs of the regalim, through them performing the special commandments that are commanded upon them to serve Am Yisrael at the festival time when everyone comes to the Beis Hamikdash to bring their korbanos, they're eating a lot of the meat of korbanos. Chazal tells us, Gemara Yerushalmi, that there's a protection when a kohen eats from the holy basar, the holy flesh of the animal. So it's very interesting. The korbanos, the sacrifices, when a person would eat them, our Chazal tell us that the person wouldn't have to go to the bathroom. There was no excrement that came as a result of eating korbanos. It was like the man that they ate for 40 years in the Midbar. There was no waste. Everything was used. It was a spiritual food. The korbanos became a spiritual food, such that there was no waste. Not only that, it seems the Yerushalmi seems to be saying that it would help them, it would give them protection against any kind of stomach issues. It would be protected. So it's very interesting. So it comes out that the Kohanim had a special protection because of their service of Hashem. They had a special protection. They had, first of all, they had their needs met. They had their parnasa taken care of, their livelihood. And second of all, they had their physical needs were met. They were protected from any kind of sickness. If you look at the word Beis Aaron B'tchu Hashem es Roma Maginam Hu, and you look at the last letters of every one of those words, and you scramble the letters, so the letters give you the words Matan Uma, the gift of the nation. So in this very passuk, it's very cool. The Chofetz Chaim says, they received the gift of the nation. Hashem provides for them a gift from the gift. He provides their needs from the gift of the nation. But still, despite the fact that you're getting this gift from the nation, and the gift itself helps you and protects you and feeds you and keeps you well, but always place your Bitachon in Hashem. Remember who's the source of the gift. Don't lose sight of the fact that the gifts that you have as a Kohen, as a priest, are coming from Hashem. This is really important. You know, Baruch Hashem, we have a beautiful Olam HaTorah, we have a beautiful world of people studying the Torah of Hashem, putting themselves completely into Torah, and they get gifts. Right? They get gifts. Sometimes it's from a father-in-law. Sometimes it's from the kollel. The money that's the kollel is tzedakah money, right? It's important to think about the fact that it's not that it comes from them. It's not that it comes from anybody else. It comes from Hashem. It comes from Hashem. It needs to be remembered. And I noticed, because you said this, the next passuk is Yirei Hashem Bitchu B'Hashem. If you look at the last letters of Yirei is a Yud, Hashem is a Hey at the end, Bitchu is a Vav, B'Hashem at the end is a Hey. Yud Kei Vav Kei. Which means to say, with the Kohanim, they get a gift from the Ummah. With the Yirei Hashem, those who fear Hashem, those who are committed to Hashem's Torah and His Avodah, their gift is Hashem Himself, as it were. They get Hashem Himself. It's more obvious, it's more clear. With the Kohen, he gets a gift from people, but the Yirei Hashem, their conception of Hashem has to be, their perception of Hashem has to be, it's coming to me directly from Hashem. That's the feeling that it has to engender. Now there's a bit of a long piece from the Chofetz Chaim, and I'm pretty sure that we studied this together a while ago, but it's always good to go over it. Leilanu Hashem, v'ayim b'psachim. We find that in the beginning of this little section of Tehillim, it says, Leilanu Hashem, Leilanu ki l'shimcha tein kavod. Don't do it for us, Hashem. Don't save us for us. Do it for your honor. This is something that Klal Yisrael will say different times in the history, but we're going to say this as we enter the war, which maybe we're in now, of Gog u'Magog, which the Chofetz Chaim said was World War I and World War II, and there's a third one, maybe that's what we're in now. But we say, Hashem, it's not us, it's not about us, it's you, Hashem, for your honor, for your sake. Help us and save us. There are those who say that it's being said that this Leilanu, that Hashem, we're saying, don't do it for us, do it for your sake. Save us for your sake. Is something that's said by Am Yisrael in the times right before Mashiach comes, in the birth pangs, the birthing time of Mashiach. And what happens right afterwards is our passuk, our psukim. Klal Yisrael should trust in Hashem. It said, we see here, Yisrael b'tach Hashem, Beis Aaron b'tach Hashem, Yirei Hashem b'tach Hashem. We have three levels. The first level is Klal Yisrael generally. Then is the Kohanim, the priests. And then there are those who fear Hashem. Why didn't it stop? Just say, people of Israel trust in Hashem. That's enough. That includes also the Kohanim, obviously, and those who fear Hashem. The understanding here is as follows. Klal Yisrael has three levels. The first level is all of the people of Israel, all the Jewish people. The second level is Beis Aaron, the priests. By the way, the Chofetz Chaim was a priest. He was a Kohen. Their job is to guide Am Yisrael, to show them exactly what to do, how to serve Hashem properly. And then the third level, is those who fear Hashem, who are shaking. They're fearful that they should make sure to do Hashem's word. They're on a deeper level, they're on a higher level than the priests. And the passuk is teaching us that at the times of the war of Gog and Magog, which again, perhaps we're in right now, at that time, when Mashiach is so close and the birth pangs are getting strong, so then, the Midas Hadin will become so strong that it will be impossible to get out of that difficult, strong judgment. What do you do in that moment? You find yourself in the middle of a protest on a campus. What do you do in that moment? You hear a siren that's going off and you're running to your supported room, to the room that's strong. What are you thinking in that moment? The passuk is telling us for each and every one of us, depending on our level, here's what to do. To strengthen ourselves in bitachon at that moment. This is the way to save ourselves from the heavy judgment that's coming into the world at that time. Think in your mind, you're in that moment, they're surrounding you, waving Palestinian flags. What do? It's only Hashem. Nothing can hurt me. That missile that's on its way can't hurt me. Only Hashem can protect me. Hashem is with me. In this way, it brings us in front of Hashem, to be mentioned in front of Hashem, to be remembered in front of Hashem. That's the next passuk. Hashem zicharani yavarech. Hashem, remember us, bless us. Yavarech es beis Yisrael, yavarech es beis Aaron, yavarech yirei Hashem. The result of the bitachon is that blessings come upon us. We're remembered in front of Hashem. Hashem protects us. He blesses us, which is on a higher level than just protecting us. He's giving us all of our needs. We mentioned Yivarech es Beis Yisrael, the house of Israel. Yivarech es Beis Aaron, the priests. Yivarech Yirei Hashem, bless those who fear Hashem. Al Kain, Achai v'Reyai, says the Chofetz Chaim, my dear friends, even though the times that we're in are so difficult and so many troubles are facing us, if we put our faith completely in Hashem, if we strengthen our bitachon, we can get through anything. Certainly Hashem will help us. And we will be remembered in front of Hashem for good. As the passuk says, Hashem will remember us, and He will bless us, all of us, the people of Israel, the Kohanim, the priests, and those who sincerely fear Hashem, who seek His will. Thank you so much for listening. See you again next time.